In the week in which Godzilla is set to make a terrifying return to British cinemas, welcome to a monster night of entertainment on BBC Two.
Report to action station. Report to action station.
Hello, my name's Bill Bailey. Welcome to Monster Night, 5-hour non-stop cavalcade of destruction. If, like me, you love to see huge angry lizards slapping each other about in shopping centres, then you're in for a treat. I'm talking mammoth, scaly freaks stomping on whole pagodas. I'm talking soundtracks like this. Da, da, da. I'm talking acting like this. Say, what the... I'm here in the Lucky Dragon Love You Long Time Gambling Emporium. Because tonight, me and a few mates, we're going to be having a flutter on some top-flight, cracking monster scraps. Involving at least one giant lobster, and that's a promise.
Tonight in our Monster Bookie shop, we'll be having a flutter on 3 classic Monster Wars. So see if you can back a winner in our first fight between Housewife's favorite Godzilla and Ebirah, Horror of the Deep. At 9:10, get ready for the biggest, baddest mother on the planet. It's the story of Godzilla, king of monsters.
He represents the elemental force of nature that can destroy us all.
At 9:50, hold tight for our second monster war. This time we'll be taking bets on a rumble in the jungle between Godzilla and the mighty King Kong. At 10 o'clock, Lee and Herring contemplate life, the universe, and some reasonably scary monsters.
The Dalek, a Frankenstein's monster. The Kraken. Nancy Lamb. Nancy Lamb is not a monster, Rich, is she?
Then get ready for a rumble in the rubble in our third and final monster war as Gaios, the space butcher, takes on Gamera, the turtle of terror, at 10:20. And to round off the night, we've got a monster movie double bill beginning at 10:30 with super stud King Kong. And ending with some hardcore monster-on-monster action in the movie Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah at 20:1.
Should be a cracking night of monster fun. King Kong, King Ghidorah should be King Brilliant. And joining me for this hardcore monster bestial slapfest are King of the Airwaves and saviour of modern broadcasting, Chris Moyles. Straddling TV and radio like a latter-day Colossus, Phill Jupitus. And one for the ladies, media darling, Paul Ross. So, a great night of monster hurting in store. Anything caught your eye, Phil?
I think it has to the basic Toho classic, your Godzilla versus King Ghidorah, right at the end of the evening, which is fantastic because when you're getting in from clubbing and you turn the TV on, you're doing your bit of post-club TV surfing, and then something like Godzilla King Ghidorah comes on.
A giant lizard.
Well, you think you've had a bit more to drink than you actually have had.
You've had a good night.
It's a cracking night out.
Yeah. Chris, anything caught your eye?
King Kong.
King Kong.
Definitely looking forward to it. Big fan of King Kong and all the Kong family.
The big
Donkey
monkey.
Kong as
Donkey
well,
Kong.
and all the other games, so looking forward to seeing that. Very excited, in fact.
Okay, pretty excited.
Very excited.
Paul, what about yourself?
Well, I'm looking forward to the films. I want to see the documentary, but I'm here with a big hunk of hard cash, big enough to choke a horse, and I want to make even more money. Bill, I'm here for the gambling.
Right, a gambling man, confident man, Paul Ross Sand. So, luckily for you gambling types, we are featuring 3 fantastic monster wars, featuring some of the most ludicrously terrifying creatures I've ever seen. All our guests tonight have been given 10,000 monster pounds. And what they've got to do tonight, we've got to check out the form, see the odds, and then pick a winner. So, let's have a look at tonight's Monster Contenders.
Born in the heart of a nuclear blast in 1954, Godzilla is approximately the height of Nelson's Column and weighs an incredible 22,000 tons. He is able to fire a deadly atomic ray from his mouth, and with such an impressive fight record, it is no wonder he's called the King of Monsters. Ebirah, the horror of the deep, is a colossal crustacean that was created by radioactive leakage from a reactor in the South Seas. At 25,300 tons, he has a weight advantage over Godzilla, and with pincers the size of double-decker buses, he's certainly a worthy opponent despite his poor fight record.
So a fearsome first fight then, nothing to choose between them. Before I ask the fellas who they're going to bet on, let's go down to the floor to see where the clever money's going, with Barry the bookie.
Thanks, Bill, and welcome to the first fight of the night. Now this first fight of the night is Godzilla versus Ebirah. If you thought Elvis was the king, you're mistaken. The king of monsters is Godzilla, and tonight he's fighting Ebirah. This is a giant, giant lobster. He's got big claws and a big pincer, and he's fighting in his own territory in the sea. But we still make the favourite Godzilla at 2-1, and the outsider is 4-1, this lobster. Will he be a lucky lobster tonight? Over to you, Bill.
Thanks, Barry. Right, OK, that's the form. Who do you fancy, Paul?
For me, it's got to be Godzilla. I think the geezer with the pincers is a pontified pansy. He may be in the water. Godzilla's amphibian. He came from the water.
Easy.
And how frightened would you be of... What's he going to do? Nip him to death? It's got to be Godzilla.
Chris, what do you reckon?
I agree.
Yeah?
I must admit, I agree.
You're going with the big lizard?
I like the breath stuff, the halitosis. It's a killer every time.
But he's in the water, though. He's in the water. The lobster boy there, he's in the water. You know, it's his home.
Do you know
turf.
what? I'm going for the King of Monsters.
King of Monsters,
Yeah,
right, OK.
I'm going for the big boy.
It might be an outside bet, the lobster. What do you reckon, Phil?
I'm sorry to disagree with the lads at the end of the table, but I have to go all the way with the seafood fella.
Do you reckon?
Come on, he's got the home crowd advantage. You imagine you're down there, you're battling against a big lizard with radioactive breath, but behind you, 20,000 little lobsters clapping you along. Has to be Ebirah.
Giving it all out. Oh, that's the gong of death. Place your bets. Let's see what's going to happen.
5K, uncut, Godzilla.
All right, 5K on Godzilla, OK.
You've got a change of 100.
No.
I'm a cautious better.
Don't muck about, just slap your money down.
All right, 100 each way.
Oh, hello. Right,
Well,
that's the bet in. Now, let's hand over to our big fight commentator, Jonathan Pierce.
Thanks very much, Bill. And the atmosphere here on the floor, very, very tense. But following Bill's thoughts moments ago, a lot of late money on Ebirah, I can tell you, as the master of ceremonies calls for hush. And first to show. And as he plays castanets with those claws, so he gets the crowd's applause.
So, big money there for Paul, big win for Chris. Phil, not so lucky there.
how can that be a legal move, having his claws off? That's not right.
You did bet
One little ear nibbling, the crowd goes mental, and yet claws coming off.
Well, it was hard but fair, mate.
That was
What I loved
illegal.
was that
That's
little
an illegal.
final moment when he rubbed salt in the wound and he just clapped the
clicking.
claws and said, like, remember
You
these?
see,
You said goodbye to these.
He's got the monster ray. What did he do? The splashing. Oh, I'm going to splash you. I'm going to splash
Splashing,
you.
that is an allowed move when claws are being ripped off.
It's
I'm
pathetic.
200 down.
All
I don't
monsters,
wanna-
they
no.
hate splashing.
No.
Well, don't worry, there's 2 more fights to come, because it's winner stays on in this game, and Godzilla will next be fighting King Kong.
What's your arms, Kong?
Godzilla, though, where does he come from? Why is he so angry? Why has he got a massive tail and a big atomic ray coming like that? Ah! Does he ever get up in the morning, look in the mirror and just think, what's the point? All these answers coming up now in a documentary about Japan's very own King of the Monsters.
Big and hairy against huge and scaly now in BBC Two's Monster Night.
Report to action station. Report to action station.
Welcome back to Monster Night. Now, Godzilla for me is really summed up by the bloke in the suit, but we've got this new film out. Phil, you seen it?
I have, yeah. I was in America recently. I did see the new Godzilla.
Yeah.
I was on a night out, and it's big on effects.
Yeah.
It specialises in the Spielberg crash zoom. They've nicked lots of Spielberg crash zooming. They've kind of over-egged their crash zoom pudding. The monster itself, very computery. He's got a lot of that trickery in it.
Paul, you believe you've seen it?
The trouble with it is, A, you're right, it's not the bloke in the suits.
No.
And B, the plot is so full of holes it could be a colander. And you don't normally expect like logic in it. But this is just like in the beginning, they're firing pea shooters at the Godzilla, and in the end they just blow him up with a few jet fighters. Well, you'd think, well, send the jet fighters in at the beginning,
First.
and I wouldn't have wasted 2 hours of my life watching this old tosh.
No.
The other big difference between this new Godzilla is, like, in the old ones, he was terrifying and spooky, but he was humanity's friend. Because he beat up Mothra and Lobster Boy and all the rest of them. In the new one, it's just Godzilla killing human beings.
Killing humans.
It's like,
no. So
thumbs down for me.
Thumbs down, really. But the thing is, you know, he did fight a lot of weird and wonderful creatures. I mean, one of my favourites was Godzilla versus Mothra.
Ah, Mothra.
See, now, which I think is a triumph of linguistic terror. Because that's not very scary, is it? But Mothra.
Whoa!
There
you That's it, you've got me.
Yeah. You've seen that, haven't you?
Well, it's Mothra, isn't that Japanese for bleeding earth them off?
That's right, yeah.
I believe he spends most of the film running around Tokyo putting the candles out.
Yeah, exactly.
And then Mothra attacks him and he's just standing there doing that. Oh, get off.
Chris, you've seen the old Godzilla films, yeah?
Yeah, I saw the old one.
What was your favourite of all the old rubber-suited fights?
I like the one where he and one of the Spice Girls are having a bit of a jousting match.
Yeah?
Yeah, that was my favourite one.
Godzilla versus, what, Poshra?
That was it. In her stilettos and her high heels, you'd think she wouldn't have a chance, but she held her own for a good 5 minutes.
He ripped both her arms off, of course.
Yeah. That's a good she kept going. You know, she's a...
Got the high heels and taunted her with them like that.
She's clicked them together, and a witch appeared.
Oh, Toto, it's a twister. Can't wait for Godzilla versus Tigra, the Vauxhall monster. Next up, Monster War 2. Godzilla versus King Kong. Let's check out the facts.
Kong comes from the island of Faroe and is smaller and heavier than Godzilla. But this super-sized simian is not only trained in the art of judo and rock throwing, but also has superb agility and a cunning gorilla brain. This deadly cocktail of skills has resulted in him achieving an impressive 4 wins out of 5. Compared to Kong, the king of monsters is lean, mean, and bright green. His fight record is the best in the monster kingdom. After victory against Ebirah, his confidence is high, and the question is, can he be stopped? Only time will tell.
Well, that's the form. It's going to be a ding-dong. Let's check out the odds with Barry the Bookie.
Thanks, Bill. Now have we got a fight coming up for you here. This is the clash of the titans. Godzilla versus King Kong. This is the greatest fight since time began. Imagine in human terms, this would be Muhammad Ali versus Rocky Marciano. We've got the brain and the cunning of this big King Kong with his big arms and monster chest, and the brawn of Godzilla. You've just seen Godzilla win the last fight. Can he win this fight? It's brain against brawn, but we're going to maintain Godzilla as the 2-1 favourite. And King Kong, can he beat King at 3-1?
Thanks, Barry. OK, so that's the form. Chris, who do you fancy?
I'm going to go for King Kong.
Yeah?
Straight in, no missing. Godzilla obviously going to be a bit knackered after the last fight.
Right.
You know, obviously might have gone down the booze to celebrate. So I'm going to go for the big boy for King Kong.
OK, all right. He's got the death ray, remember?
He has, but King Kong's a nice, fiery, tall mother of a beast, and I just feel as though...
He's more agile.
Yeah, you know, and he's hairier.
He's got the monkey skills. Paul, what's your money on?
I think the odds are about right. I'm going to go for Godzilla this time, because I think with that hair, Godzilla with his big old claws can get a nice bit of purchase, topple him over, death throw him, thrash him with the tail. I think it's going to be close. I think King Kong's going down.
He's going to edge it?
Yeah.
All right, Phil.
He's our primate dancer for monkeys. King Kong all the way, it has to be.
Dancer for monkeys?
Yes. He's Godzilla, no chance with his scary death throw and his big scaly quiff.
But he's lighter on his feet, though.
Yeah, but
he's a bit more
lighter out of his
mobile.
mouth, mate. That's where the lighter comes
Phil,
from.
but he can catch, he can move, he chuck the rocks back, he can rip arms off.
He can climb trees and eat bananas. That's my case.
Don't make it 2 losers in a row, Phil.
OK, let's have your money. Place your bets. Come on, put your money down.
15,000 on Godzilla.
15,000?
15,000 on King Kong.
The boys are going mad.
You boys are foolish.
50 each way, I'm not hanging about.
50 each way on the big
each
monkey
way.
boy. Let's see what's going to happen tonight as we hand over to our fight commentator, Jonathan Pearce.
Thanks very much, Bill. Feverish dealings down here on the betting floor. As the crowd again hushes for the Master of Ceremonies. Scary enough himself. And first to show is the king of the primates, King Kong, and there's Godzilla.
Kong is swimming safely out to sea. No Godzilla.
Well, there you have it. Kong is the winner. No sign of Godzilla. Kong the champion. Back to you, Bill.
No! Bill, the fix was in there, mate. Godzilla drags King Kong into his own territory,
Yes.
and then Godzilla loses. That's a disgrace.
He was beaten, fair and square. End of story.
So that pagoda went. What must the home insurance premiums be like?
On a pagoda?
On a pagoda when Godzilla and King Kong are in
Yeah,
town.
because you got all your gutter in your flashing.
You've got your third-party fire theft. Big monsters?
Big
I don't
monster.
know.
Chris, how did you do on that? You lost out. Oh no, you won.
No, I won a lot of money.
You won a lot of money.
I'm very, very happy. I told you that my boy, Ding Dong King Kong,
he done well.
He did very, very well.
It wasn't look that convincing, I must admit.
He nutted himself on a boulder. Godzilla gave him time to recover.
Oh, he's obviously been drinking down the old Kong bar.
And he smacked him across the midriff with his big tail a couple of times. That restarted his heart.
He pulled that smack. Yeah. He pulled that. The Godzilla I know and love would have had him down and kept him out.
He wouldn't. End of story. I win the money.
He singed his fur. That was a nasty moment. He was smouldering away there, Kong, for a minute. I thought he'd go from the fumes of his own pelt, but no.
The fumes of his own pelt. A phrase you will not hear on Question Time. Anyway, plenty more to come here on Monster Night.
Still to come on Monster Night, get the builders in as Gaios the Winged Terror takes on Gamera the Turtle of Destruction at 10:20. Then it's time for our monster movie double bill, beginning at 10:30 with Casanova King Kong.
This thing is just never gonna work. Can't you see?
Followed at 20-1 by King of Monsters Godzilla in Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah. But now, those of you with a nervous disposition, please beware, because it's time for Leon Herring and some reasonably scary monsters.
All bets are on again. It's Monster Night on BBC Two.
Report to action station. Report to action station.
Welcome back to Monster Night. Leon Herring there, talking about scary monsters. Chris, what's the scariest monster for you?
A Metal Mickey.
Oh, right. Well, the robot?
Yeah.
Robots scare you then?
The robots scare me because they're monsters as well. Just because they're metal and don't have scaly skin, don't think that, you know, that they're not tough.
Daleks frighten me. I used to hide behind the sofa.
Yeah.
Whenever the Daleks came on, I'd hide behind my sofa, and then my mum put the telly behind the sofa and I had nowhere to go.
I think the old Creature from the Black Lagoon hasn't had enough coverage either.
Predator, that was my favourite.
Well, you know, because you think about it, you're in the lagoon,
yeah.
Should be all nice, Dorothy Lamour, bit of swimming, some mermaids, and now underneath it is the creature. And he's our size, but he's like a fish man. And that's a horrible thought,
speaking of fishmen, do you remember them blokes in Stingray? Who drove the big fish? Troy was always trying to destroy them. And they were...
with the faces. With the crab face.
They talk like that, yeah. They were very scary.
Well, those are our scary monsters. All night we have been betting on monster fights. Paul Ross, how have you done?
Very shabby so far. I'm down to 5,000.
You've got a huge blue bundle there. Chris Moyles.
I've got a very massive packet, which I'm very pleased to be holding in my hands.
Well done. You've packed and backed winners all night.
Hoo-ha.
Hoo-ha. Mr. Phill Jupitus, not so good.
I believe the stealthy approach is what is needed, and even that hasn't paid off because I'm 50 down on the evening. I've got 9,950. There's my 50.
Well, all that could change as we now come to our final fight of the evening. Let's have a look at the contenders.
Gaios was an experiment in biomechanical weaponry that went wrong. Compared to other monsters, he's a relative lightweight, but his amazing speed, deadly knife-shaped head, and sonic rays make him a fearsome opponent. Gamera is a giant armored turtle created by a pre-Atlantean civilization thousands of years ago. When not in hibernation, this ferocious beast stands taller and weighs more than his supersonic enemy. Add to this his mighty tusks and fearsome fire breath, and you have one hell of a fighting machine.
So, will it be turtle soup for the entire population of Chad, or will it be sayonara Bat Boy? Let's check out the odds for the last time with Barry the Bookie.
Thanks, Bill. We're over to the last fight of the night now. You've all heard of the fable, the tortoise and the hare, and we all know that the tortoise won. Well, tonight's tortoise is Gamera, a giant turtle with big tusks, and our hare is a pterodactyl called Gaios. He's fast, and he's got a very sharp head, but can he beat the tortoise in the streets? All I can tell you is this, that there's been betting on both of them, and it's very touch and go who's going to be favourite. But in the dying moments, we've had to make the tortoise favourite at 2-1 against Gaios, the 5-2 second favourite.
Thank you, Barry. OK, Paul, who do you fancy?
I'm going to go with Gaios.
Yeah.
He's going to be good in the air. He's ugly. He's scary. I need a winner, and I think it's this fella. He may be a bit of an outsider, but he's the one for me.
He can fly, and he's got electric.
Yeah.
What do you reckon, Chris?
I'm going to go for the favourite. I'm going to go for Gamera. He's ugly. He's good on the floor. He's got a good left foot, apparently.
He's got a big shell.
Yeah, and he looks like our kid.
Phil, what do you reckon?
I'm going for the flight advantage here. I have to say, I think that Gaios, he's got it all going there for him. You know, he's good in the air. And you've just got, it's just Turtle Boy. You remember them Donatello Raphael fellas? With the rat, who instructed by the rat, they were rubbish.
Yes. Well, no, this is a completely different story. This is a space tortoise.
In the air, no.
It's got rockets.
Yeah, but he can fly.
Don't diss my toad.
What happens if... there's the back... Right, OK, there's the gong. OK, let's have your money. Place your bets.
The whole $5 grand on Gaios and my wedding ring. There you go. I'm confident.
He's put the ring on the back. Chris?
Half my money on Gamera.
It's the last fight. Put it all on.
Grand. And...
Go on. Stick it all on.
There you go, I will do.
Hey, well done.
Can we keep 100 for a cab and a kebab? Just
all right, it's only pretend money.
I'm quietly confident. I met a Japanese bloke in the toilets and he seemed to think Gaios was the one to go for. So, 9,900.
9,000.
Leaving myself a little something for later on.
OK, that's the money. Let's hand over to tonight's fight commentator, Jonathan Pearce.
Thanks very much, Bill. Well, I can tell you the money's fairly evenly spread about the floor. I can also show you that scary man Phil met in the toilets with that tip any moment to go. Him. And he's frightening. And we're off and running with the third fight of the night. Gamera, the turtle with the tusks against Gaios, the flying bat with that strange head. Immediately coming on the attack, there's the wing ding early assault then. You can feel him wince with pain there, back crushing the buildings as the concrete slabs come tumbling down. And again, it's Gaios on the attack with the flying super duper looper. And there's blood there, I think, on the face of Gamera. I think we saw blood. He's certainly hurt. He's reeling backwards. He's in pain. And there's the shrill scream of pain. But out comes another deadly green venomous tusk, and this time it's Gaios. He's flung straight back against another building, hurtles through the window, and this time the concrete slabs are pouring down on Gaios. And what's Gamera doing now? Gamera with suddenly some sort of turbo thrust is shooting up to the heavens with Gaios straight away after him. And this fight now, Big Fight Bands, is literally quite out of this world. Up into space they go, snapping and biting, and it's Gamera who has the hold now on Gaios. They plummet towards Earth. He's got him by the leg. How's Gaios gonna get away from this? He's literally cutting his own leg off. How ghastly, how grotesque to get away, and it leaves Gamera now plunging towards a wonderfully, superbly placed oil rig and oil production factory, and flames burst out into the heavens, and surely that now is Turtle Soup, and Gaios must be the winner, and I think we'll see us celebrating Gaios even though he's legless tonight. There he is! There's the scream of victory! Or is it? What exactly is happening now? Flames directed around the burning Inferno, and the burning fires are being sucked into what? They're being sucked into Gamera, and Gamera, the big turtle, has drawn the fire into his own fiery breath. And Gaios has one chance left. It's that sonic ray. Can he get the sonic ray working? As Gamera comes in with a triple stare. There's the fireball from hell itself. And Gaios is blasted to eternity. And that's the end of Gaios. And Gaios' hopes are quite literally gone up in flames. And Gamera, the turtle, is the winner. And would you like that dreadful terrapin in your garden fish pond? Gamera, the winner. Back to you, Bill.
Oh, no. Thank you very much. Yeah, well done, Chris.
Thank you,
You've
sir.
won a bundle on the big Turtle Boy.
Turtle Toad Boy thing. I knew it. The rocket boosters, the works.
Yeah, how come the tortoise got the rockets? Was that evolution, did it?
No, it was a thing in heaven when they were dishing out the rockets.
He was a stayer though. He bit his own leg off to escape the turtle.
I don't think he meant that though. Somehow, Paul. The electric space bat has done himself in.
It's that bit where the turtle appeared to absorb the explosion.
Yeah.
Which is a classic device in science fiction.
Yeah.
You know, the Hulk gets radiation, and instead of getting a horrible disease, becomes the Hulk. It's like the girl in Ballykiss Angel when she got electrocuted. Why wasn't she packed with strange new powers? Electro or something?
That never happened.
Somtaru.
Somtaru.
Queen of Ireland.
She sucked in all the electricity.
In Ireland, it becomes like some huge ninja warrior.
No, it never happened. No, what I don't understand, why didn't the bat get on the turtle's back? Because the tortoise is completely helpless. He can't
flip him over.
He can't reach round.
Turn him over.
Because he's an amateur next to my winner. That's why.
Well,
and I've won a lot of money.
You have.
Paul's wife.
You've cleaned it. Yeah, actually, how are you going to explain that, Paul, the old wedding ring there?
I'm broke, but I'm a free man.
Yeah.
Enjoy it.
Hello.
You're going to come in drunk going, yeah, I bet my wedding ring on an electric bat. That's not going to go down that well.
He's used it before. You can't use it again.
No.
But for the first time, it's true.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, a victory then for the Moyles. The Moyles Ra.
For the nonce.
For the nonce.
Thank you very much.
I apologise for that. Well, that's the end of our Monster Wars. Coming up now, our monster movie double bill. At the end of the night, Godzilla versus King Ghidorah. But for now, it's the 1976 remake of the classic King Kong.
Late Night Monster Madness on BBC Two. Here's Bill Bailey.
Report to action station. Report to action station.
Welcome back to Monster Night. That was King Kong, the remake. What do you make of that, Chris? You prefer that, or what do you think?
I like the original.
Yeah.
I kind of prefer the original. I like the hand going into the room and Fay Ray and the whole works and that does it for me.
You like to see a big hand going in a room?
I like it, yeah.
What do you reckon of that, Paul?
Very poor.
Very poor?
Very poor. Because it was too late. Anything Dino De Laurentiis touches stinks like fish 4 days old, and that was a stinky old film.
Even fish?
Yeah, especially fish. The weird thing about it was that it was like great people in it, but nobody who kind of made it then went on to do anything of note for like 10 years. It killed Jeff Bridges for 10 years, didn't it?
Yeah.
Charles Grodin didn't do much till Midnight Run, and then Jessica Lange.
King Kong never worked again.
King Kong, well, no, you can see him twice a day, can't you, Universal Studios? And it shows you how scary that for me. When you do the Universal ride, the big old King Kong head comes up to you and he goes, and it smells of bananas. How scary is that on the ride? That's not scary. Rubbish film.
Would be quite scary, yeah, but it's not that scary. I don't think the original's actually scarier.
Well, it's contextual, isn't it? You know, the modern effects thing and the fact that he shot off the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center instead of the Empire State Building. I think that's an audacious rewriting of the original story. The Empire State was still there. Why couldn't he fall off that again?
No.
Why don't they have him trying to hail a cab? Why can't they have him getting into a fight with Crips and Bloods on the streets of the Bronx? You know, if they're going to update it, that'll be the next one, wouldn't it?
Yo,
Kong in the hood.
monkey boy.
Yeah, him, Kong driving around with a big purple fedora on in an open-top car with his bitches.
A nice romantic twist when Kong met Sally.
There we go.
A little meal together. She could have faked an orgasm for him. Would have been nice. It didn't have to be a sad ending, did it? This time
no
around?
bananas in Seattle.
But it is. It's that funny, that classic thing of the monster you felt sorry for, and you actually. I shed a wee tear.
My only quibble though with the original is, you know, when they get to the island and there's the big wall there to keep Kong out. There's a door there. Why don't they make a small door? You know, they built a huge door that he can get through. Why don't they just build a little door that he couldn't get out of?
And he climbs the Empire State Building at the end, but he can't manage a wall twice his height.
No.
What's that all about?
It's riddled with plot.
Too many holes.
Idiosyncrasies. Yeah. As you said, like a calendar. Well, that's it for tonight. I'd just like to thank my guests, Paul Ross.
It was a pleasure.
Phill Jupitus.
Thank you, mate.
And Chris Moyles.
Thank you very much.
Well done. Still to come, Godzilla versus King Ghidorah. But to play us out, the legendary John Cooper Clarke.
Somebody once said that a wedding is a funeral where you can smell your own flowers. This was certainly true in my case. Here's the rest of the story. In rhyme, I married a monster from outer space. The Milky Way, she shifts around, all 3 feet firmly off the ground. 2 worlds collide, 2 worlds collide. Here comes the future bride. Give me a lift to the lunar base. I want to marry a monster from outer space. I fell in love with an alien being whose skin was jelly, whose teeth were green, big bug eyes, death ray glare, feet like flippers and cubic hair. I was over the moon, I asked her back to my place. And then I married the monster from outer space. The days were numbered, the nights were spent in a rent-free furnished oxygen tent. A cyborg chef serves up cuisine, the colour of which I've never seen. I needed nutrition to keep up the pace. When I married the monster from outer space, we walked out, tentacle in hand. You could sense these earth mothers would not understand. The neighbourhood watching the local fuzz said it's extraterrestrial, not like us. It's bad enough with another race. But fuck me, a monster from outer space. A cybernetic fit of rage. She pissed off to another age. She lives in one step beyond recorded time with a new boyfriend, a blob of slime. Every time I see a translucent face, I remember the monster from outer space.